I'm so excited. We're gonna go ride e-bikes. She's definitely gonna make it, but will I?
Let's call Ben an Uber.
Oh no, I only got 2 bars left. I'm gonna have to, oh my God, 1 bar left. Oh God, I might be pedaling, going home.
We don't have too much further to go, and I'm really hoping that we both make it okay, because one thing about these e-bikes, they are stinking heavy. One of us will be calling Uber, while the other one sits and waits.
We are Ben, Charity, Dakota, and Trinity. We did not want to settle for the typical suburban life, so in 2017, we bought our first RV and set off to live a life of travel and adventure in the USA. We've learned quite a bit over the past 4 years of RV living, and we share RV travel and many more tips right here on our channel. This week, we break down the pros and cons of e-bikes and if they really work with the RV lifestyle.
Both Himiway and Lectric have sent us e-bikes to just kind of, you know, check out and let you guys know about these particular e-bikes.
All right, let's turn this bad boy on.
This is just it. How do I do it? The power button?
Yep, just hit that power button and then hold it down. There you go, all the lights turn on. And then what you want to do is just, see how it says PAS 0? You want to hit the plus button up 1 so it starts on PAS 1, which is pedal assist 1.
Pedal assist, okay.
Let's adjust your seat and then let's get rolling.
Oh, I was gonna start my
Your Apple Watch?
Yes. There's no way I'm gonna do anything physically without
Yeah, so let's
it.
see at the end of the video on how much exercise it shows that you got.
And see, that's one of my biggest things right already with the pros and the cons is that I feel like if you're gonna go for a bike ride, you should be getting a workout, not exercising. So that's one thing that I wanna find out. Because to me, there's no point in riding a bike if you're not gonna actually get like some sort of physical benefit from it. So we'll see.
And the way I look at it is that you still get some exercise. It's not 100% cheating.
It's cheating.
But it allows you to go further. You get a decent amount of exercise, but you can go for a longer distance.
I feel like that this is running a marathon using a golf cart. So we'll see.
Living real, real good. Let me show you.
Having this on pedal assist 2 is the only way I could feel any sort of like right? But having it on pedal assist 2, like my heart rate, I can totally tell, like I'm sitting here talking normally. If I was out of breath, if my heart rate was up, I would be out of breath and I'd be struggling to talk. And that's not the case. And so anyway, we're not very far in, we're a mile in. So I think maybe I'll back it off to pedal assist 1, even though it feels like there's no assist at that point and I'm just pedaling, because I feel like that I'm not getting any exercise, even just having it at pedal assist 2. Now, finally we're over on the West Orange Trail, which is more of a flat trail versus like sidewalk. But like my point is if I'm gonna go for a bike ride, I don't want to have to go to the gym later because I didn't get my workout in on the bike ride. That just feels like wasted time.
We're on a hill now, so now you can pedal. And
so now we'll see what I'm actually feeling here as far as if this is doing anything for me or not.
I think you're gonna thank the pedal assist.
I mean, at this point, why don't we just hop on a golf cart and go tool around? Because it's like same, you know, physical experience. But anyway, we'll keep going. We'll see how it gets, if any better or not. So I put it back down to 1, and then I just pulled that hill with just pedal assist 1, which was good. I got my heart rate up, that's the goal. But it feels like when you have a bike with a flat tire, where there's just like a ton of resistance and a ton of drag. And I think it's because the bike's just so heavy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heavy bike when you don't have the pedal assist on.
So I think it's like, I don't know, like, so this is where I'm at a crossroads already, because if you want to work out, it's just going to feel like riding bikes with flat tires. It's not smooth. But if you want that oomph, then you're not going to get your workout. So I guess you have to choose. Maybe e-bikes really aren't the workout bike. It's like a golf cart without a golf cart. So one thing that I'm already noticing is that on this bike, the Lectric, versus the bike that Ben is on, which is the Himiway, is that I am like topping out on my cadence pretty fast as far as just how fast that my legs can go with revolutions per minute. And Ben is like trucking it. And it has nothing to do with the pedal assist per se, but it has everything to do with, on the Himiway, the wheels are way bigger than the wheels on the Lectric. So I'm having a hard time keeping up just because he's got way bigger wheels than I do. So just kind of a difference, sort of maybe pro con, depending upon the application you'd be using the e-bike for. So if you were gonna be riding with a partner, but you probably wanna have equal bike types, because with this being as disproportionate as it is right now, it's just making for a little bit of a harder ride in the sense of he's having to slow down for me, and my legs are spinning about as fast as they can spin, and I just can't keep up.
Okay, so we are going to switch a little bit. I'm gonna ride the Lectric, she's gonna ride the Himiway, and I wanna get your feedback on the Himiway versus the Lectric. And it's a different type of bike, really. The Lectric is a bike that you would want to take with you and travel and fold. It doesn't go as fast. It's got a smaller motor than the Himiway. The Himiway's got the 750 watt motor. The Lectric has the 500 watt motor, so a little bit smaller, lighter weight. But
I feel like for what we're doing today, riding a longer distance on a trail, the Himiway is probably the better application,
yeah,
the better bike for the application. Let's say that we were doing, you know, a trip where we weren't going to bring our tow car and we wanted transportation to just go pick up groceries or something, you know, short distance in town, that the Lectric would probably be a better option for that. So if, you know, you're traveling, you don't want a tow car, but you want something to get you around, but you don't want to bring a moped or, you know, something like that, I could see where that would be the better application, but I'm just not having much fun, I guess, yet. I definitely think I like the feel of this better. See, personally, I like the feel of this better for the type of ride we're doing right now. Now, if I was just running to town, picking up a couple things at the grocery store, might be different. All right, keep up.
hey, wait.
So Ben just told me I was gonna have to drop this Himiway bike down to pedal assist too, because he can't keep up on the Lectric. So you definitely have a difference with wheel size. I mean, I think wheel size plays a huge part, but then also gearing with the wheel size. So I know I said it a little bit earlier, but I think that if you were gonna go for an e-bike ride with a partner or somebody else, you'd really want to make sure that you have very similar setup of a bike, or else you're going to have a hard time either one person trying to catch up or the other person having to hold back, just with the difference in sizing and everything else. So, which is what we're finding out here today out on this trail. Now, Lectric did send us two, so we do have another Lectric that we have from them to test out, to kind of just check out, you know, the whole portability thing. Because this Himiway bike, we actually got this from Himiway at the beginning of this summer, and we did not take it in our summer travels when we were traveling this summer because it is just too big to be able to put on a bike rack, and we just didn't have a good space for it to be able to transport it with us because it's just so big. You would really almost have to have like a toy hauler or a trailer or something where you have a lot of extra cargo space for this one because it is so large. So if you have a toy hauler, this would be a great e-bike to take along. But if you don't, it'd be hard. See ya!
Hey, wait!
I'm living more than ever. I'm living real good. Let me show you.
Let's go get some pizza.
Let's do it, I'm starving.
Where are we gonna get pizza at?
The Winter Garden Pizza Company is the best pizza that we have found here in Winter Garden, Florida. And if you're gonna come to Florida for just, you know, winter or whatever, there is a great RV park, the Winter Garden RV Resort, that literally is just about 5 blocks to the east. I think about what direction it was. But we have stayed there before. It's a Thousand Trails Park. We're not Thousand Trails members, but we've stayed there. And it's a really cool area of Florida, this whole Winter Garden area, and downtown Winter Garden especially. So enough of that. Let's go eat.
Oh man, this pizza is really good. It's super crispy. You can just hear it. Listen. I don't know if you can hear that, but man, super crispy.
This is one of our favorite places to come get pizza here in the whole Central Florida area. Winter Garden just is a really cool downtown area and a fun vibe. So definitely a recommend. I don't know if we can justify it cheating, riding e-bikes, but
yeah, probably didn't burn off all the calories to justify the pizza, but hey.
Probably not. And I do think, at least on the ride over here, it does kind of feel like cheating. But if you're not in that good of shape and you're trying to get in shape, it might be a good
way to start.
Just start.
Yep. And it's fun.
Mm-hmm. So. Or if, for people that maybe do have health challenges too, where a long bike ride wouldn't be something that you could do, this would make it possible. So
what are you thinking? I know initially you were a little bit kind of, I don't know about this e-bike thing. What do you think?
I like
after?
the Himiway better for this type of ride. Now, I think if we were just going to go like to a farmer's market or something like that, probably the electrics would work for that.
So this is the bike lock for the electric bike, and it's kind of convenient because it does store up in a little compartment on the bike, so it's nice and compact. One thing I don't like about it is you have to have a key with it, so you have to put the key somewhere, and it's just another key that you could lose somewhere, so that's the only downside to it. But it's a nice compact little bike lock. If I were to do it, I'd probably just get one of those little, pigtail looking bike locks that have a combination on it, like this one over here. So that would probably be better, because then you don't have a key or anything. You have to remember, you just have to remember the code and you're good to go. I will put a link down below to the bike lock that I would recommend.
So now the big question is who's gonna ride which one home? So I think I'm gonna make Ben ride the electric back. And I'm gonna ride the...
I heard that.
And I'm gonna ride the Himiway back. So, just because I actually feel like I get more exercise on the Himiway because of just how it's set up, where when you have the pedal assist at the different ranges, you can still have some resistance. I feel like with electric, if the pedal assist is anywhere past like that 3 mark, that you just don't feel any resistance.
Unless you're pedaling really fast and hard.
Right.
So if you want to go slower for a nice, casual, fun, slow ride, man, the electric's fun.
It was hurting my knee a little bit because just not feeling the resistance, but moving my legs so fast with nothing to push against. Anyway, it was just starting to irritate my knee a little bit. So, how's your knee?
My knee's good.
Then you're riding that one.
All right, dang it. No, it'll be fun. All right, let's make our way home.
All right, let's do it.
We are now on our way back, and I was just checking my energy bar, not like the kind you eat. And it says there's like 3 bars. So if you look here, there's about 3. That's underneath a half. So I'm hoping that we can make it home with this amount of energy. So what are you at?
Full.
That's crazy. So yeah, she's full right now. So she's definitely gonna make it, but will I?
I'm gonna have to call Ben an Uber.
Right?
Either that or he's gonna be walking it. I don't know. He's actually going to be pedaling without pedal assist with the bike with the little wheels. The electrics are not the best bike for the application of a longer, like, trail ride.
Yeah.
But if you were just doing something short.
Yeah. Short little
errand.
Short errand, short trail.
But not a long trail ride.
From our home base to Winter Garden is about like 15 miles or so.
Ish.
Yeah. Ish. Oh no, I only got 2 bars left. I know the Himiway bike, as you pedal, it does charge. So I'm gonna have to, oh my God, 1 bar left. Oh God, I might be pedaling, going home. We're gonna have to see. I'll have to see if pedaling does charge up the battery on this bike. I'll let you know right below.
A few moments later.
So I've been bringing down the drone. A few thoughts about the e-bikes and about RVing, since so many RVers are making the jump to e-bikes. A thought I have is you really, when you live RV lifestyle, you are really not wanting to do something where you have to change your lifestyle to fit the thing. So what I kind of mean by that is, like with the e-bikes, if you have to completely change the way you RV to carry an e-bike with you, then maybe an e-bike isn't necessarily the thing that you would want to be getting into. If you have a RV or some sort of setup that's conducive to the space you need, everything else to be able to have e-bikes come along, then that's a whole nother story. So I think when you're RVing and you're looking at maybe something new or something different, you just have to be aware of, am I gonna have to change the whole way that I live this lifestyle to fit this thing? Or is this thing gonna come over and complement the way I'm already living this lifestyle?
One thing I did want to mention too is that with an e-bike, if you have kids, it is really, really nice because say you want to go on your just regular, what do we call them nowadays? The old fashioned regular pedal bikes that don't have an electric motor, and you want to take your kid out, right? Well, before, the way it would work is, say Dakota wanted to come with me, we'd go out for a ride and maybe we'd get in a couple miles, 2 to 3 miles, and he'd be tired, ready to go back home. Well, we've taken the Himiway bike while I was on my road bike all the way to Winter Garden, and he kept up with me. Actually, he passed me quite a bit. And we had a blast because we went together, and it was just so much fun. So that's definitely one thing that is nice about these electric bikes if you do have kids, is depending on how you feel, if you just want to go and cruise, not work hard, everyone can take out the electric bike and you can just have fun. Or if you want to get a little bit of exercise and you want to take your kids along as well, they can come along with and they can get on the electric bikes and you take your pedal bike.
The other thing too, I think we've seen other couples that have varying degrees of ability. And so if you have one person that's in really good shape and, you know, again, they want to ride a bike and they're, you know, like one of those people that is like triathlete or, you know, even just, don't have to be that extreme, but they're just in really good shape and this is something they do all the time. And then they want to bring their spouse along or their significant other and they're not in as good of shape. It's just not as fun for either person. But if you have something like this where it basically just gives that person that maybe isn't as in good of shape or doesn't have the same stamina, a little bit of extra oomph, then it's something that provides a way for people to do activities together. Yeah. And that's a super great benefit of e-bikes in general.
More moments later.
All right, so trying to take the Lectric on this type of ride was a bad idea. I am now towing Ben because he does not have enough battery to get back. So I've got my pedal assist on, but I'm still having to give it some oomph. Yeah, and I'm towing him. So, lesson learned that the Lectrics with just the smaller wheels and the smaller engine are not well suited for an extended ride. Keep it to the short rides because this didn't work out so well and now I'm towing him back. So I just looked down at my battery on the Himiway and I'm down to 2 bars now after towing Ben. So we don't have too much further to go and I'm really hoping that we both make it okay, because one thing about these e-bikes, they are stinking heavy. Especially the one I'm on is way heavier than the Lectric, but the Lectric's not light either. So if you don't have any sort of pedal assist, it is not fun at all because they are not made really to go without that pedal assist. So trying to pedal it under like human power is not very easy. You almost have to have battery to help you, unless that, I don't know, you're like, you know, Herculean legs or something. But fingers crossed that we can make it back okay at this point. One of us will be calling Uber, but the other one sits and waits. Is it dead?
It's dead, man.
Oh no.
It's definitely dead.
All right, well, oh, cart. Ugh. We'll see how Ben does. We don't have too much further to go, but these bikes are not light. Better him than me. That's all I gotta say about that right now. Better you than me.
Hey, wait for me!
Better him than me. Ben can call an Uber.
12 seconds later.
Trying to be as aerodynamic as I can. See if this helps. Oh, I just have a little ways to go. Man, she wanted some exercise. Now's her chance to ride this electric bike because I am now down to the first bar, and basically it's shut off all pedal assist. So, but I only have like a mile to go until we're home, so not too bad. So, see if I can make it up to Charity.
We just hit a little hill right there. Poor Ben. How was that hill? Woo-hoo! At least it's a downhill here. Go, get as fast as you can. Keep your speed up.
Later.
Well, it was probably more fun for me than Ben since his bike died.
It was fun though.
So it was a lot of fun for sure. So some pros and cons that we were kind of realizing and thinking about when it comes to e-bikes and RV living. Yeah. There's a total whole nother, I think, dynamic if you're not talking about like RV travel and RV life,
right,
when it comes to e-bikes. But since our channel's primarily about travel and RV living, then that's kind of the aspect that we think of when it comes to something like e-bikes.
Yeah.
So pro is they're fun.
They're fun. They're fun and they go fast. You go about 20 miles an hour, which is pretty decent.
Another pro is that if you don't have a tow vehicle and you want to have an alternate like form of transportation,
yeah,
it would be a good alternate form of transportation.
Yep.
Now that kind of comes with some pros and cons, because we were talking about the cons to that is for us and our family, we've got 2 kiddos that are bike riding age. They're older. So for some families, you know, they can put the extra seats on the back and they're carrying their kids with them. So you only need 1 bike then for say 2 people. Well, we need 4 bikes for 4 people.
Right. It's a lot of weight.
And so it's a lot of weight with e-bikes.
Take the batteries out before you put them on the bike rack anyways, but they're still heavy.
And they just take up a lot of space in the sense of then you can't really fit 4 e-bikes on a rack at this point. There's not a rack that's heavy duty enough as far as a bike rack is concerned.
At least. Yeah.
So then you're looking at some other sort of rack system, whether it be like a full-on motorcycle rack or I don't know, like if you guys have any suggestions out there, maybe let us know if there's something that you have found that would fit
awesome.
4 e-bikes.
With the fat tires on them, obviously.
And then talking about kind of pros and cons too with the difference of the Himiway versus the Lectric, which obviously you guys just saw that the Himiway had a much better range and battery life than the Lectric did. But the Himiway is super stinking heavy and big. Like that's one you really won't travel with unless you have some sort of a toy hauler or a motorcycle rack. When it comes to transportation and travel and RV life, it's a lot harder to transport these types of things unless you have a toy hauler. And I think that's probably maybe where you have to look at it as more like these are toys.
Yep.
Just like a lot of other toys that people like to carry with them. So we wouldn't be putting a quad on the back of the RV necessarily. Storage, if you don't have a toy hauler, I think is definitely kind of a con, because then you need to keep them on a rack. You need to keep them covered. You know, we talked about like the folding Lectrics, putting in the back of the Jeep. But if you get to your campsite and then you need your tow vehicle to go get groceries or whatever, you're pulling them out. And now you're trying to find a way to secure them and to keep them covered from the elements. Yeah,
I mean, they're probably not going to do very well with humidity, rain. You have to have a cover on them probably. And, you know, is that going to be enough, you know, to cover them up? Maybe not. You know, with humidity, it's still going to affect the bikes.
And then needing to charge them, needing to have an electrical like access. But there's all of these things that then start to compound when it comes to the experience. And really, like, do you want to keep life simple, or is the fun aspect worth it enough to take multiple extra steps?
Right.
Just something that you have to decide what's going to work best for you and your situation. And I think too, when you look at price, so the Himiway does have a higher price tag, and we'll have links in the description below for both Lectric and for Himiway. Himiway's got a new model coming out, so I know that they sent us a link specifically for that, so that's something you'll want to check out there too. But the Himiway does have a higher price point than the Lectrics do. So all of those things are just things to consider if you're considering an e-bike purchase. Just so many different things to think about.
Yeah, and the nice thing about both of these e-bikes, though, they both have the fat tires. And one thing I wanted to mention is you take them really anywhere. Like, I've taken them in sandy areas. We took them up to Wekiva Springs, you know, and they get around and they grip through that sand no problem. So that's one thing I wanted to mention.
And then even today on our ride, like, we were mostly on pavement, but there were a couple of areas where the pavement was like broken or like close to bushes and trees that needed to be trimmed. And so you didn't have much of a choice but to come off of the pavement onto the grass, and they handled that fine. Never felt like that was an issue at any point in time. So definitely they're built to be able to do both like trail, like paved trail stuff, but also like
probably
the
not
state
mountain
parks.
Biking or anything like that,
but like your state park type trails that are more
perfect for that.
Just maybe not paved, but not like technical. And one thing to consider too is they are heavy. Yes. So if you are a person where you have any sort of weight restrictions where maybe you can't lift a certain amount due to back issues or anything like that, that's definitely something to be aware of, and take a look at the weight of each bike. The Himiway is significantly heavier than the Lectrics. Our Lectrics, we actually got some extra packages for them, which obviously adds more weight to it also, but they are heavy. The batteries are pretty heavy. You can take the battery out and then, you know, lift the battery separate from the bike, which helps. Which
is what you want to do if you're putting them up on a bike rack. You want to take that battery off and, you know, get it out of the elements.
Right, but I was thinking like if you were folding it to put in the back of like a vehicle, you could take it out just to help with the weight too. But either way, just know that you got to have some muscles, got to have some guns. We always encourage you to just do your research and do what's going to fit your lifestyle best. If e-bikes are something that's going to complement what you're doing, then by all means, go for it. They're fun.
Yep.
For sure, they're fun.
Yep. And just for reference, this trip was a round trip about 20.
What did my Apple Watch
6 miles-ish.
Now I got to
give or take a few miles. So just to give you an idea of that's kind of where we were at. By the time we got back, obviously the Lectric was dead, so you're not going to get 30 miles out of that. The Himiway definitely still had a couple bars of battery, right?
Yeah, so, and I actually towed him for a little bit of the way too, so it had some extra just kind of...
Don't try this at home, folks.
No, don't try this at home. Not recommended.
Awesome. So if you have any questions about the e-bikes, let us know below in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And
let us know if you have e-bikes, which e-bikes that you have, how you're transporting them. If you are an RVer, full-timer, using e-bikes, we would love to hear more on that.
Give us some tips below, please.
The jury's still out for us as far as Are they gonna be something we're going to be able to travel with or not? Because we don't have a toy hauler. I don't know.
I guess we just have to get some toys. Now might be our time to get that Harley Davidson.
So thanks so much for watching this video on e-bikes. If you would like to see more videos of fun places to visit and go see while you're living the RV lifestyle, you can check those out right over here.
And if you would like to see some of Charity's awesome organization, hacks, and us going into IKEA, Home Depot, Lowe's, and all these cool places, go ahead and click right here. And if we do not see you on the road or at the campground,
We'll see you in the next video.